DRS100 race under beautiful blue skies here at Shenington. We've got 28 drivers set to start this one. I'll be giving you a rundown of the grid very shortly. See the winds. A nice healthy breeze. It's not too blustery, but it certainly helped dry this track out. And of course, Shenington is part of an old airfield, which of course is very flat and wide and open. So when the breeze does get up, it means that the track tarmac, as we have discovered already, dries very quickly. And so we look at the beautiful scenery here in the English countryside, not far north of Stratford. And here is the grid. All the drivers on slick tyres. No one with wet tyres on anymore. And the DRS100 class, 28 drivers strong. The biggest field we have here at Shenington this weekend. Looking down there is the number 1 plate cart of Harry Graham, starting mid-grid for this one. And actually that will be on the 10th row, so he's actually drawn last of the non-rookie drivers, and of course the 8 rookies in the black plates and the white numbers starting at the back of the 3 heats. So there's Harry Graham, showing off his sponsors there on his race suit. And of course a lot of these drivers do have external sponsorship, whether it's family, friends, local businesses, things like that. And of course 16-year-old from Leamington Spa, the Emerald Group backed driver, is looking to make good progress. He's got a little bit of work to do in the championship to get onto the podium this year. He's at a 5th and a 4th in the 2 finals. There's number 104. That is Rowan Campbell Pilling, driver from Sheffield. And Pilling had a transponder issue in the first heat race, and hopefully that's been resolved now, because he did very well in the wet. He'll be starting at 17th. There is the number 136 cart starting 18th. That's Vijay Ramlal. And again, you can see on his race suit there, underneath the sister pledge thing, that is the CRMO awareness. So that is a bone condition that Vijay has. It obviously doesn't stop him racing in his sport at the highest level, but he uses his racing to raise awareness of that. And Vijay has got his golden cocker spaniel Lola, who is part of the support team yesterday, and Lola was quite content to have a little woof into the microphone yesterday, and well, generally just stand around woofing at anyone who walked past her. But part of the Vijay Ramlal support group here. There's number 125 cart. That's Alicia Palmowski, and Alicia, one of the large group of young ladies in the DRS100 class. I said earlier before, the Teal Services backed driver. She is starting from the outside of the 8th row alongside Lily Jeffs in cart number 133. This is Lily's first time here at Shenington, and went very well in the dry yesterday. She went out in the wet. She said it was no, I don't want to go out in the wet. We'll save ourselves for the dry. And luckily she's got dry weather here today as number 133 Lily Jeff, local driver from Northampton, looking cool as a cucumber with the shades on to make sure there's no glare off the carts in front. Now, there's no glare off the race suit in front, because that is Nikki Taylor. And the alarm company, that's a highly alarming shade of orange and yellow. Certainly see Nikki coming in the dark. If you're looking to dominate it in the wet, now he's got to do it in the dry. The 14-year-old from Norwich in the outside of the 7th row of the grid, starting at P14. Thomas Davison in cart 100 starts alongside him. There's Dylan Reid in the foreground of your camera. There's Thomas Davison in the 100. Dylan Reid, the 16-year-old from Headley, he is starting 12th on the grid. And alongside Dylan on the 6th row, Joe Sheppy. Pole position in race 1, a top 3 finish for Joe. He said he's not that great in the wet, so he should be going well here in the dry. He was quickest in his group of practice yesterday, is Joe Sheppy, starting P11. Top 10 now. 10th place on the grid, number 131, Justin Brouard. Brouard coming into this series from like a lot of other drivers done from other championships, and really finding that the level playing field benefits him. You're not competing against massive budgets and big teams. You're all on the same equipment, and that is what Justin says he likes about this championship more than anything else. Ben Gartside, the 14-year-old from Harrogate, starting on the inside of row number 5. P9 on the grid for cart number 9. That is Ben Gartside. On the top 4 rows now, George Whitehouse. That bright green and black race suit for Whitehouse in cart number 114. You can see all these drivers between the ages of 12 and 16 in the DRS100 class. The cart's capable of 70 miles an hour. Callum Gunning, your championship leader. He starts from 7th on the grid. The driver from Herne Bay, looking for a good result. Then it is Charlie Humphreys in cart number 127, starting 6th, and Dylan Brierley in cart number 101. Out go the drivers. We'll run through the top 2 rows of the grid, or Ben Gartside having a few issues getting off the grid. It'll be Thomas Harvey and Samuel Cunliffe on the top 2 rows, top 2 positions rather. Jack Rigg and Daniel Holdsworth on row 2. Then it's Brierley and Humphreys now. Can they get Ben Gartside going? We hope to have a full complement of 28 drivers. We've got 27 on the circuit at the moment. Here we go. So it is number 8, Thomas Harvey, and number 6, Sam Cunliffe on the front row of the grid. Number 116, Jack Rigg, and number 132, Daniel Holdsworth on the second row. Then it's Dylan Brierley in cart 101 and Charlie Humphreys in cart 127 on row 3. Callum Gunning and George Whitehouse round out the top 8 of this grid. Row number 5, Ben Gartside and Justin Brouard. Row 6, Joe Sheppy and Dylan Reed. Row 7 is Thomas Davison and Nikki Taylor, the race 1 winner. And row 8, Lily Jeffson, Alicia Palmowski. Row number 9, Rowan Campbell-Pilling and BJ Ramlal. And it's Leon Frost and Harry Graham rounding out the top 20. Bryn Calder and Henry Foote start 21st and 22nd. Newcomer Owen Johns and Cody Eustace start on row number 12. Row 13, Philip Spray and Millie Hart. And then row number 14, Oscar Walmsley Jones and William Vincent. They are your 28 starters for the second DRS 100 heat of the day here at Shenington. 8 minutes plus 1 lap. Harvey and Cunliffe on row number 1. Harvey with the white crash helmet, Cunliffe with the black, yellow and green liveried helmet. And we're going to have a false start. We're going to go around again. Ben Gartside looking down to see whether that cart made it out. And yes, I can see looking out of my commentary box window as the drivers head into view. Ben Gartside is there. He's got the white crash helmet with the bright orange stripes on it. See on the right hand side of your screen in cart number 9. So we do have a full complement of runners and riders in the sun here at Shenington. Can Harvey get to the inside of Cunliffe? Now at the back we've got 1 or 2 or 3 of the rookies that need to pick up their pace and get into line. That's Owen Johns, Oscar Walmsley and then we have the yellow flags out. That's experienced marshal there, Peacocks in post 8. That man has seen tens of thousands of kart races over his career in the marshal post, and of course marshalling, one of the most important jobs, if not the most important job in all of motorsport. Without the marshals giving up their time, none of these young men and women could go racing. Here we go then. Harvey and Cunliffe come to the line. Lights are red, lights are out, we're off and racing in DRS 100. A good start from Harvey, who gets to the inside. Cunliffe tries to make the move at Cafe Corner, and he does, forcing Harvey a little bit wide. Everyone else safely through the first 2 corners and out onto Stratford Straight. Down towards Stratford Bend. Cunliffe leads, Harvey in second. The number 132 of Daniel Holdsworth in third place. It's been a good start. Rigg has slipped back to 5th. I think that's behind Humphreys in cart number 127. Callum Gunning also making good progress. He's going to make up for the fact he had a bad first heat race. On to Hanger Straight for the first time. Cunliffe leads, Harvey second, Holdsworth third. Holdsworth doesn't drink to the inside. Everyone's single file up the top 4 or 5 positions going through Wilkins at the end of lap number 1. Cunliffe trying to break away. Harvey and Holdsworth in his slipstream. Then a bit of a gap back to Humphreys, Rigg, Gunning. There goes Ben Gartside to the inside. Coming under pressure though, Ben Gartside from Dylan Brierley in cart 101. Out of Park Bend, down towards, or Pitts Bend rather, down towards Stratford. Top 3 trying to break clear. Gunning moves into 4th place in cart number 2 at the expense of Humphreys. Humphreys is 5th, Rigg is 6th. Then it is the number 114 of George Whitehouse. Then it's Gart side by side, further back in the pack, Nicky Taylor. You can see Nicky Taylor in that bright orange and yellow race suit, trying to battle up from 14th on the grid. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, and that is Rigg and the number 127 cart of Charlie Humphreys having a bit of a territorial dispute down at Wilkins. They've got 1,018 metres worth of tarmac to play with, and they want to plant their go-kart in exactly the same inch. They both continue on, both losing a little bit of ground. Cunliffe leads, Harvey and Holdsworth though following him around Stratford Corner, and they are not letting Cunliffe get away. Gunning is the man on the move. He's bridging that gap between the chasing pack and the top three. So there's Callum Gunning all on his own, that blue race suit. He's in 4th place. He's pulled away from the battle for 5th behind him, and he's now closing in on the leaders. Here's Rigg, Whitehouse rather. Jack Rigg in cart number 116. George Whitehouse in cart number 114. Then it's Gart side in the number 9 cart. The number 1, 2, 3 of Sheppy is 8th. Then it's Brierley, Reed, Davison, Brouard. Humphreys back to 13th. Taylor still 14th. He needs to make progress now. Ramlal is 15th. Will Vincent is the leading rookie in 16th position. Then it's Graham, Frost, Palmowski and Campbell Pilling your top 20. So Harry Graham, championship leader, has not had a positive start. He's still mired back in 17th position. Nicky Taylor, you can see, coming out a little bit wide. Dylan Reed looks at the inside of Dylan Brierley, going into the Bruno chicane, but has to back out of it. Here's the leader, Sam Gartside. Holdsworth now up to second at the expense of Thomas Harvey. And Gartside inching away now as we complete lap number 4. Holdsworth sets a new fast lap of the race, 45.442. Personal best lap for Thomas Harvey, but it's a fast lap of the race for Holdsworth in cart 132 at the moment. There is the scrap for the lead, down towards Stratford. Holdsworth and Harvey closing back in on Cunliffe, and they're going to use his slipstream. You can see Holdsworth ducking down, trying to behind that NASA panel to try and create maximum aerodynamic efficiency. Oh, a big gaggle coming out of the Bruno chicane there. Back of your screen, that's the number 133 Lily Jeffs in amongst that. So is Rowan Campbell Pilling. Leon Frost also, and Anna Palmowski in that group. But the lead trio, Holdsworth and Harvey, working together. They've caught up to Sam Cunliffe, and Holdsworth makes the move. Cunliffe will try and hang it up on the outside of Pitts Bend, of Park Bend rather. So he's got the inside line for Cafe Corner. Perfectly executed move, and that's going to force Harvey a little bit wide. They're coming up to lap Owen Johns, who gets out of the way at Stratford Corner. So the newcomer to karting has had a moment in the first couple of laps. He lets the leaders go through. And now Callum Gunning has caught the top 3. Gunning in cart number 2, taking advantage of that brief battle for the lead with 3.5 minutes to go to make it a lead quartet. So a trio has become a quartet. Through Wilkins. Out onto Park Straight to complete lap number 6. Cunliffe, Holdsworth, Harvey and Gunning into Cafe Corner. And Callum Gunning has now got to try and work over the number 8 cart of Harvey. He's got Jack Rigg, George Whitehouse, Joe Sheppy battling behind him. There's a distinct gap between the top 4 and then Rigg in 5th. You see Rigg hitting the number 116 cart, looking over his shoulder as he comes onto the hanger straight, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10 carts right the way back to Nicky Taylor and Harry Graham in 13th and 14th places, lining up behind Jack Rigg in cart 116, and again another look over his shoulder. He doesn't need to know how many carts there are behind him. All he needs to know is that there's lots. So there's a move as Joe Sheppy picks off George Whitehouse at Wilkins. That is for 6th position. So Rigg, with 2.5 minutes to go, as Callum Gunning sets a new fastest lap of the race, 45.164. The top 4 are battling, and this on your screens now, coming out of Cafe Corner, is a titanic battle for 5th. Here are the leaders into Stratford. There's the difference between... Cunliffe has a long look over his shoulder, just to size up the competition. Holdsworth, Harvey and Gunning are next. There's number 135 cart going through your screen. That's Leon Frost, and Leon Frost down in 15th place. He's got VJ Ramlal right behind him. And there's a move there, Dylan Reed diving up the inside of George Whitehouse for 7th at Wilkins. Here comes the move by Joe Sheppy. on Jack Rigg. He sweeps across to the outside line going into Park Bend. Now he'll size up Rigg for a move coming out of Cafe Corner. Shenington, you've got to set up your move sometimes 2 or 3 corners in advance because of the flowing nature of the track. And now there's Sheppy to the outside. He's going to try and get up the inside coming out of Stratford Corner onto Runway Straight. And he does so, but Rigg defends, has to hold him off. This is slowing this group down. Here comes Nicky Taylor at the back of that group and Harry Graham. They can't get past Justin Brouard and Ben Gartside, who seem to be constantly side by side. Here comes Sheppy again to the inside at Hanger Corner. No, Rigg holds on. And Sheppy's got to be careful because if he goes offline too much and he makes the move, if he goes offline too much like he's done, he's not going to make the corner. Rigg is going to come back at him on the outside line. 1 minute to go. The leaders, meanwhile, going to Cafe Corner. But here's the battle for 5th place. Rigg just about by the skin of his teeth holding on at the moment from Sheppy. Whitehouse, Reed, Davison, Brierley, Taylor, Brouard, Graham and Gartside. Then there's a gap back to VJ Ramnell. There's Whitehouse in the green and black race suits being put under pressure by Dylan Reed. Into the Bruno chicane they come. And you can see Rigg now driving a bit defensively then as well. He might, because if he moves offline, it's not going to be just Joe Sheppy that goes past. It's going to be Joe Sheppy and every Tom, Dick and Harry there is behind him as well. Sheppy to the inside. Oh, Rigg tried to defend, but the cart just slewed out a little bit wide. Sheppy makes the move. Can Rigg fight back? Cunliffe, meanwhile, is under pressure because Callum Gunning has picked off Thomas Harvey and Daniel Holdsworth. Gunning now gunning for the race lead with 10 seconds plus a lap to go. Nicky Taylor's now making progress up into the top 10. Around Stratford come the leaders, up the Runway Straight. Here is the battle for 5th place. It's now Sheppy. Rigg getting forced a little bit wide there by Whitehouse and Davison. Davison in the number 100 cart has got past both Whitehouse and Rigg up into P6. Rigg back to 7th, Whitehouse in 8th, Reed 9th, then it's Taylor 10th. Behind Taylor is Graham, Brouard and Brierley, with Gartside in there as well. Here is Dylan Reed at the inside of the number 7 cart, passing George Whitehouse. And now Nicky Taylor taking advantage of the situation. But the race leader coming up to lap Owen Johns. Oh, and the race leaders, they split the back marker. Cunliffe goes to the inside. And that was the wrong call from Sam Cunliffe. Callum Gunning went round the outside of the back marker and took the lead of the race. Cunliffe tried to get to the inside, and of course you can't really blame the back marker there because he had carts going to the outside, so he instinctively moved to the inside of the track and he didn't know that Sam Cunliffe was there. It's not the normal line to try and pass a back marker, but it has allowed on this, the final lap, Callum Gunning to steal the race win. You can take him every which way you can get him. Callum Gunning, your championship leader, recovers from a poor first heat to take the win, fortuitous or not, in race number 2. Oh, and a problem there. That's number 131 cart displacing some tyres. Oh, and there's a lot of tyres bouncing around the outside of the circuit there as Justin Brouard obviously getting involved in a little bit of an incident there in that battle for what was 5th position. And now, how has he done that? Because he may have gone over the bank, through the tyres, out onto the other side. He was still on his wheels and he still got going, but we'll find out a little bit later what happened. But Callum Gunning takes the win from Samuel Cunliffe. Daniel Holdsworth in 3rd. Thomas Harvey is 4th. Joe Sheppy 5th. Then it's Thomas Davison, Jack Rigg, Dylan Reed, Harry Graham and Dylan Brierley rounding out the top 10. George Whitehouse, Ben Gartside, Leon Frost, VJ Ramlal. And the leading rookie home was Cody Eustace in 15th position, ahead of William Vincent, Alicia Palmowski, Nicky Taylor, Charlie Humphreys, and the top 20 completed by Rowan Campbell-Pilling. Let's go and see what some of the leading contenders from that one have got to say, and then we'll be out on the grid for the next DRS125 race. So here we are down in scrutineering at the end of a very dramatic DRS100 second heat race. Callum Gunning, let's come around the side there. Well, I mean, You've got to have some bad luck, you've got to have some good luck in racing. I think you would at first admit that you've got a little bit of good luck there, but first of all, a great job to get up to the lead group from where you started.
Yeah, definitely. Got quite lucky on the last lap with the blue flagger, but yeah, definitely payback from the last race.
Yeah, because it was a tough start today in the wet. Just talk about trying to get to that top 3 and then battling your way through.
Yeah, it's difficult because if you don't get a good start, then the leaders will be gone. So you have to get a good start and have to keep the consistent pace up.
And it was a case of blue flag waved, you went one way, Sam went the other, and it paid off.
Yeah, luckily I chose the right way.
Luckily you chose the right way. So your race 2 winner in DRS100, smiling like the cat that quite literally stole the cream, Callum Gunning, your championship leader. Now, of course, for every big smile, there's also that not so big smile. And Sam Cunliffe, well, I mean, I know that it's very tricky to come and do an interview directly after a race like that. You led all the way, that blue flag there. Callum went one way, you went the other. The back marker stayed in the middle, and that was game over.
Yeah, he just got in the way.
I know it's really tough starting out your first time of the year. Never has been a novice and a rookie to start off with, but I mean, let's talk about the positive. You led that race, you withstood the pressure from Dan and from Callum and from Thomas all the way through. You must be really pleased with how the kart's going in the dry now that looks like it's going to be dry for the rest of the day.
Well, hopefully it rains during a race and we're all out in slicks, so...
To really throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah.
So you're feeling confident in that type of conditions, of course, when you know the grip levels are at absolute minimum, that when you feel the most confidence?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And so after this race, you know, sort of clear out of your mind and go again in race 3?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sam. And again, it must be so hard after just losing a race there and then having to deal with an interview. And we'll speak to young Mr. Holdsworth as we come back here. So that's second place, Sam Cunliffe. Dan Holdsworth, again, a great scrap for you. Tell us about that battle with Sam and Callum and Thomas all the way through that.
No, well, it was pretty close all the way through, but I tried to go for the lead on one at the laps, and first corner it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and it didn't work. But again, you must be quite pleased with how the kart's performing. You've got front-running pace because, you know, every time Sam tried to pull a gap, you guys just pegged him back.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite fast that race and close racing.
Excellent, close racing indeed. Thank you very much, Daniel. So there's the top 3 in DRS100. In the space of 2 interviews, you can see the highs and the lows of kart racing, but that is racing, as they say. We'll be back out on the grid very shortly with some of the contenders from DRS125.